Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon here. Welcome to another episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode number 3. Only a few days removed from the first two episodes, which is always nice to get another episode so quickly after the first two, which I enjoyed quite a lot. Unfortunately, the last few days have been marred, as always, by a small group of Star Wars fans, an element of the right-wing base of the Star Wars fandom, who can't just be happy with anything that they get. You know, they've had to go and throw abuse in the way of Moses Ingram, particularly vile racist abuse. And, you know, it's really created a big reaction from Star Wars itself. Lots of, you know, the actors jumping to the defense of Moses Ingram, the actual main account posting in support of her. I had an interesting time on Twitter yesterday, sort of going back and forth with a lot of these right-wing elements who, you know, rather than just saying racism is bad, they shouldn't be doing that, chose that particular post to, again, attack the wokeness of Star Wars, which doesn't make sense to me. You know, again, firstly, because, you know, it is simply just a case of all you need to do is just say, yeah, they shouldn't be racist. But, you know, choosing that point to say Star Wars is woke is not just inappropriate, but it's also wrong because, I mean, Star Wars has always been woke, you know, from its very inception. Go back and look at George Lucas's, you know, inspiration for Star Wars, and you'll see it's taken very much from the Vietnam War, the anti-war sentiment that was going on at the time in America. You know, the Empire, for God's sakes, has elements of Nazi Germany. You know, it's taken inspiration from. So it absolutely has always been political. But people nowadays tend to use that as an attack point. You know, there's nothing wrong with criticizing Star Wars. Nothing wrong with criticizing Disney. There's nothing wrong with criticizing an actor's performance if you feel they're not doing their job well, or the writing for a character. But when you start to bring in you start to attack the actor personally, and you start to bring in race, you know, and gender, that's when it really becomes kind of like over the line. And that is unfortunately a recurring theme for Star Wars, really ever since social media became a big thing. And, you know, I say this as someone who has no love for, you know, what Disney has necessarily done with Star Wars. You look back over my, you know, years of reviewing Star Wars, and you just have to look at my Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker reviews, and you'll see that I do not give them glowing, you know, reports whatsoever. So again, Disney is by no means above reproach here. They have failed in the past to not just defend their, you know, own people from racism, as many have pointed out, but also to prevent racism by actively acquiescing to, you know, racist demands of the likes of China, acquiescing to the homophobic demands of Saudi Arabia by removing, you know, the token gay kiss in The Rise of Skywalker. You know, and again, these points are all things that are absolutely fine to point out, but it's when you start to attack, you know, Moses Ingram personally, and you start to be racist towards her just because you don't like her character, and just because she's not Darth Vader, you know, maybe because she's a woman. Some people really find a problem with that. You know, gone are the days where they can look and see white people as being the only main characters in Star Wars. Gone are the days where they can ignore the fact that Princess Leia is one of the strongest female characters to ever be presented in a movie. You know, they tend to overlook that when they argue about Rey, you know, being this overpowered character. And again, there are criticisms to Rey's character, absolutely, but it's by the by, because a lot of people just use that as a platform to be misogynistic. And now they're using Moses Ingram as a platform to be racist, just because a lot of them want this show to be just 6 episodes of Obi-Wan and Vader, which was never going to be the case. It's not realistic. It's not good storytelling to just have Vader and Obi-Wan face off in the very first episode. You know, they're doing it the right way. They're building it up. They're building up to Vader's appearance, which I've no doubt we will get in this episode. This third episode, which is where things, I think, will really pick up. And again, the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, they have been, I mean, there's been some concerns on my part in terms of the pacing, in terms of, you know, some of the action looking a bit janky. But there's been some really good points in there. You know, I like how Obi-Wan is so broken. You know, you can see how out of practice he is, how rusty he was in the fights. You know, but again, that's not to say the show isn't without its issues. You know, I'm very concerned that they may have killed off the Grand Inquisitor. I know this is Star Wars, so anyone can come back from anything, but he looked fairly dead in that last scene that he was in. And I don't know if it's just a way of getting him out of the show, because, you know, they have an established canon with Rebels, and, you know, they clearly want Reva to be the focus of the Inquisitors. But, you know, again, I do have my concerns there, and I'm worried that they're going to turn Reva good, which, you know, again, it's an overplayed trope, unfortunately. You know, I just want the bad guys to be bad guys. You know, because that's, I'm not saying it's more believable, but that's more enjoyable at times. You know, to see the bad guys actually get defeated rather than them having redemption. Yeah, redemption is great, you know, but when it's done every single time, it can feel a little bit watered down, you know. And again, these are genuine criticisms, no problems with that. So there's probably already a bunch of people who've either disliked the video, commented saying, oh, USJW, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, yeah. But we're here to react, so we are going to jump into the third episode of Kenobi. We're going to react to it. Hopefully, we're going to get a really good episode, and yeah, we're going to jump in. I'm going to see what happens.
Then you're my enemy.
His own PTSD coming through as Vader is suiting up. And an interesting way of putting the helmet on, rather than it being just the top piece and the face mask. That is a cool shot. Yep, here he comes. God, he's got that walk down.
Yes, my lord.
Love him sitting on his throne.
I have been watching you, third sister.
That's such a great shot.
I know what it is you seek. Fail me, and you will not live to regret it.
I'm trying to figure out if it is actually James Earl Jones, or if it's a synthesized version of his voice, because it seems much smoother.
How does it feel when you turn on the light?
I feel safe.
That's a really good analogy.
Yes, it feels like that.
He's been living in the dark for 10 years. Oh, and he fixed her droid. God. Even in the most backwater of planets, the Empire has a presence. Is that Anakin? Is that Hayden? It is!
Ben?
I see what they're doing. I like it. I like it very much.
You are not in charge here.
Oh!
That seat is mine.
Yeah, there's a lot of Inquisitors who are already dead at this point.
I just spoke with Lord Vader.
I knew it. I never should have trusted him.
We don't know if maybe...
No one is coming here, Leia.
God, he's so doubtful. So pessimistic.
Well, if we're on our own...
My pleasure. Hop in.
He's a goofy fellow. Don't know if we should trust the goofy fellow. Oh dear. I like to see the stormtroopers actually be more than just the misfiring kind of target practice. You know, it's great when they actually get to have scenes.
I thought her name was Luma.
They are attentive
That
stormtroopers.
was her mother's name.
I see her mother's face.
He's
We all miss
telling
her
the
very
truth. He's telling the truth. He was talking about Padme.
Leia.
People are going to say she's too smart for a kid. She's too insightful for a 10-year-old. You got to remember, she's force sensitive.
No, I'm not.
Won't take long. I know these fellas.
Are we about to get some mind tricks? He's just gonna shoot him. Yeah. Oh, God. You go. Take the truck. Oh. Okay. Is that an ally? Yep. She's an ally. That's the contact.
Quinlan was here.
Yeah,
Quinlan.
he helps now and again. Smuggling younglings.
Quinlan Voss. Oh. What?
Ben?
Is Vader nearby? Vader? It's not just the Inquisitors. Yes, he's here. They got to nighttime very quickly. He feels him. Oh, he's gonna start killing people.
I'll lead him away.
He's doing what a good Jedi does. He knows. I love this. It is terrifying. Why does everything have to be at nighttime? Can we not just have a clear daytime shot? Oh, here he is. Terror in the dark. Look at that shot.
You cannot run, Obi-Wan.
There it is. Yeah, he's more terrifying in the dark. I'll give it that.
I am what you made me.
Again, I think Vader's enjoying this. I think this is a game of cat and mouse.
I can make it on my own from here.
I could see Reva being the cause of Obi-Wan getting away. And then that incurs Vader's wrath. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay, here we go. I could do with less shaky cam.
The years have made you weak.
I think Vader's just toying with him. He's just toying with him. It's what she was. She was a Jedi. Oh, shit. He's gonna burn him. Oh! Okay. Again. Toying with him. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Oh, the flames in his lenses. Reva's gonna catch up with her.
Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but I'll take you from here.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so yeah, what a great episode. I think definitely best of the three so far. Not just because, you know, Vader and Obi-Wan facing off, but a lot of the you know, scenes in this were really good. A lot of the artistic choices were amazing. Here is Zuko, as always, to get his post-episode cameo in. You know, I think, with the exception of the shaky cam during the duel, I think the directing in this episode was really good. The visual choices were really good. You know, I complained at first about nighttime. Firstly, I mean, it did go nighttime really quickly. And, you know, normally I'm not a huge fan of having everything dramatic happen in the dark, because, you know, I like to see things. But having Vader appear in the dark is far more terrifying than had it been in the daytime. And I think this is exactly what this episode was set up for. It was to show Vader in his most terrifying form. It was to show Vader's intentions of Obi-Wan. He doesn't want to kill Obi-Wan, not yet. He wants to maim and punish and torture him. And I loved the touch of dragging Obi-Wan through the fire. Again, making him suffer as Vader had suffered. It really was a very well thought out set piece, and again, it's that terrifying idea that Vader isn't just a mindless killing machine. You do kind of, if you were to have seen him in that town, killing those families, killing those innocent people, you would think, oh my god, he is a mindless killing machine. But it's only when you see him with Obi-Wan that you see the pain and the anger and the intent as time goes on. And I thought that, again, the way that was portrayed in the direction of the episode was amazing. I mean, we know Deborah Chow is a great director, but again, I think she's really showing off her chops here with, the way that the battle at the end was dictated. The whole episode was great, in terms of building tension. Again, showing the Empire taking over these sort of backwater planets that were once prosperous and lush, and fertile, and now they're being stripped of all of their valuable resources. The people are being made to suffer, and again, it gives a good idea as to the oppression the Empire brings. And young Leia in particular, I think in this episode, did a really, really good job of once again kind of displaying a maturity and intelligence that betrays her actual age. I did have my concerns that she was a little bit too young, because she's supposed to be 10 years old and she doesn't quite look 10 years old. She looks more like 7 or 8. And there were inevitable comments about, oh well, how is she so smart? How is she so sassy? And it's like, well, one, she's force sensitive. She is the daughter of Anakin and Padme, the brother of Luke, and as we see, she does develop her own Jedi skills later in life. So of course, she is always going to be super insightful. Her sassiness definitely comes from her parentage, both current and biological. And she displays it really well. The young actor who plays Leia. Again, I thought a little bit shaky in the first 2 episodes, but in this one, I think when she was talking about Padme, when she was talking to Obi-Wan about my mother, that was the moment when I was like, okay, yeah, now I buy her as Leia. That's Leia. So again, a really, really great. I'm gonna have to say goodbye to Cole. Jump down. Oh. A really great third episode. Didn't give us everything all at once. It gave us a snippet, a teaser of Vader and Obi-Wan, and you can definitely see where this is going to build up to. You can see them confronting each other again. You can see them, when Obi-Wan reaches his full redemption, when he reaches his full confidence, I think that's when he'll have the breakthrough moments, is when he faces Vader again. And, he's constantly reaching out to Qui-Gon and not making a secret of the fact that he is trying to get in touch with Qui-Gon. So I fully expect to see or hear Liam Neeson in this episode, and not in this episode, in this series before the end. It just makes sense, and whilst I don't want to try and put too much of the plot together in my own head, I can see where it's going. Reva is definitely going to overstep the mark. She's probably going to get punished in some way. I don't know what she's going to do with Leia necessarily, but she's definitely going to use Leia to draw Obi-Wan back. That might go well for her. It might not. If it doesn't, expect Vader to punish her. And, we'll see where things go from there for her. Speaking of, obviously Vader himself, looks great. Again, a very good interpretation of the suit. From You know, it's like in transition from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope. You know, it's a case of Vader's suit is always going to be different because, you know, it goes through different iterations. His voice is one that I'm questioning whether they've... I'm trying to stop Zuko from jumping up all the time, because not only is he getting in the way, he's spreading hairs everywhere at the moment. He's shedding a lot. Nope, don't don't do that. Vader's voice, I'm trying to figure out whether it's James L. Jones and they've put it through, you know, a lot of processing to smooth the voice out. Because if you listen to him in Rogue One, his age is definitely showing. You know, you can tell his voice is a bit croakier. It's definitely feeling a bit aged, and that comes through in the performance. So I don't know if they've gotten James L. Jones in to do the lines and then smoothed it out with some processing, or if it is completely synthesized in the way that they did Luke's voice in The Mandalorian. In the Book of Boba Fett, I should say. Either way, it sounds pretty good. It does sound, you know, and Vader is always a little bit emotionless, so it's not a big deal if it is fully synthesized. But it sounds better than Rogue One. I'll give it that. But yeah, it was a really, really good episode. And again, I have to wait a full week now for the next one. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you did in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to be reacting to The Boys Season 3 this weekend. I've decided that is one of the shows I want to watch. So stick around for that. And of course, we will be back next week for Obi-Wan. So again, thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time.